Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're opening the doors to one of Pakistan's most important and prestigious institutions, the National Police Academy. This is where the country's top police leaders are made. But what really goes on inside? Let's find out. Okay, here's our game plan. We'll start with the basics of what the Academy is. Then we'll dive into its core mission. After that, we'll look at its command structure, get a feel for the day-to-day action, and finally, check out its presence in the digital world. All right, first things first, what exactly is the National Police Academy, or NPA for short? Let's break it down. To put it simply, this is the place where Pakistan's future police leaders are forged. It's the main training ground for officers who have passed the incredibly tough Central Superior Services exam, which, is the gateway to the entire top tier of the country's civil service. So let's get a quick snapshot of the key facts. The academy was set up back in 1978, and it's located in the capital, Islamabad. It's a government institution operating directly under the government of Pakistan, and the man in charge right now is Commandant Mohammad Idris Ahmed. So we know what it is, but what's its purpose? Why is it there? Let's dig into the academy's core mission. This quote from the commandant himself really says it all. The language he uses, sacred mandate, mold the raw potential. It tells you this is about way more than just learning the ropes. It's about shaping character, building integrity, and creating true leaders. And this really breaks that mandate down into two clear jobs. First, you've got the newcomers, the Assistant Superintendents of Police, or ASPs. This is where they get their crucial foundational training. And second, the Academy also runs advanced courses for senior officers to make sure their skills are always at the cutting edge. Now, for a mission that important, you absolutely need a clear structure. So how is the Academy organized? Let's have a look at the chain of command. The hierarchy here makes a lot of sense. It mirrors police seniority. Right at the top, you have the commandant, who's a very high-ranking officer. We're talking inspector general level. They're supported by a deputy, and then you have different course commanders below them. What this really ensures is that the training is led by some of the most experienced officers in the entire service. Okay, so we've seen the official structure, but what's life actually like at the Academy day to day? Well, it turns out this place is a buzzing hub of activity with a reach that's both national and international. Just take a look at this timeline. It gives you a real sense of the Academy's global connections. In just a matter of weeks, it hosted delegations from Seychelles, the UK, Germany, and the UN Office on Drugs and Crime. This isn't just about diplomatic visits. This shows the NPA is a key partner in international law enforcement, sharing expertise and strategies. Of course, it's not all about these high-profile visits. When you get right down to it, the Academy is basically a small town. Running a campus this size takes a huge amount of logistical support, and we can get a really fascinating peek into that by looking at what they buy. We can see this through their public tenders. They're buying everything from food for the mess hall and books for the library to cameras, and even a horse, which is probably for ceremonial duties or equestrian training. It's these little details that paint such a vivid picture of what it takes to run this place. And it's the same deal when you look at their job postings. This shows you the human infrastructure that keeps the training going. It takes a whole team, armorers, cooks, waiters, maintenance staff, to keep an institution of this caliber running like a well-oiled machine. All right. In this day and age, an institution's public face is often its website. So let's switch gears and take a look at the NPCA's digital footprint to see what it tells us about its role and its reach. Wow, look at that. Almost 700,000 visitors to their official website. That's a huge number, and it shows there's a serious amount of interest from the public, from potential recruits, and probably researchers too. And that traffic is happening right now. With hundreds of visitors every single day, the website isn't just a static page. It's a living, active resource that people are constantly turning to for information. So what are they all looking for? Well, the site makes some PD resources available to everyone. You can find everything from internal magazines to really critical pieces of legislation, like the Narcotics Act and the Arms Ordinance. It's basically a digital library for legal and policing professionals. So when you put it all together, from its sacred mandate and international partnerships, all the way down to its public tenders for horses, the National Police Academy is this fascinating mix of deep tradition and modern practical needs.
Which leaves us with a final question to think about. As policing evolves so quickly, how does a national institution so steeped in history balance that weight of tradition with the urgent demands of the 21st century world?